So I ended up serving my sentence at FCI Danbury, which is right here in Connecticut. I got lucky to stay in Connecticut, and my attorney really tried to push for that since my wife was sick and my father just passing away. So at least they had some leniency, because some people that I was in prison with were from all over the country. One guy, as a matter of fact, I was in New York speaking at an event last night, and one of the guys, J6 guys that were there, was moved 33 times throughout the country, and spent 2 years in solitary confinement alone out of the 4 years that he was there. So I was fortunate to stay in Connecticut. But as I was in Danbury, I served my sentence with Steve Bannon. Steve Bannon got there a little bit before me, but I served my sentence with Steve. I walked the track with him. I told him my story. Steve's a great guy. I've done a bunch of interviews, and it just so happens to be that he was there at the same time I was there, because I got sick earlier in the summer, so I couldn't go when they wanted me to go. But it all worked out, and God's definitely had his hands on this whole situation for me and my family. And it all worked out for the best, because while I was talking to Steve, telling my story, I ended up getting hooked up with his people, and he produced a movie off of the book. Now our FBI director, Kash Patel, wrote a book, Government Gangsters. And before Steve went and did his sentence, he produced the movie, Government Gangsters, as well. So when I got out, I went all over pretty much New England, the East Coast, east of the Mississippi, speaking at events and doing movie premieres and telling people, the facts and the truth of what really went on that day, from my point of view. And, I was quite shocked how there were so many people that had no idea what really went on, and that they're just going off of the narrative of what the media, was painting for the last 3 or 4 years. And that the facts of what has come out, we find out about Ashley Babbitt, about Mrs. Boyle, and how she passed away that day there. And then we find out that all types of officers died that day, which that's not true. A couple officers died a week later. Another gentleman died of some type of one police officer died of some medical reason the next day or two. And that the media drummed up this big story, and people really had no idea about what really went on. And I didn't really pay attention to the news, because let me tell you, my name was in the newspaper, was on social media, was on national news every day, all day, and I was just sick and tired of it. And I really didn't pay too much attention to what their narrative was. But as time went on, and going to all these events and speaking to people have really no idea about the stories. And another thing that people don't know is the people that were sentenced, like myself, to federal prison time for January 6th, they have no idea what happened to the people like me. I'm very fortunate that I have a strong family. I come from a great community. Being from the Valley, that's helped me tremendously. But people have lost their families, their kids, their wives, their livelihoods, their houses. People are coming home through the pardon with the president pardoning people after he got elected, coming home to absolutely nothing. And the suicide rate of people that were involved in January 6th is really, really high. And I've been traveling around the country speaking at all these events, because I think it's time that the people really find out what really went on that day, and what the impacts of people that got thrown into prison for 4 years or more in all types of solitary confinement, being moved over 30 times. I spent time with people from January 6th that were arrested for felony assault on police officers. They're on video the whole time they were there, never went into the Capitol building, never were in the vicinity of a police officer, and got sentenced to 48 months, 42 months. And it's really a tragedy. They've lost everything, money, time, and their family. And a lot of them, too, lost their lives to suicide. And, you know, this has really served a great impact on the country.